Pennine for the regular Thursday evening digital mat. Quite a few was on this evening, and see how we go. I know one or two people have been connected virtually permanently, but we'll see if there's still got connections. So we'll go to the top of the list there. 2E0, OGN in the group. Good evening, Owen. M0AUG. 2E0OGN returning. Yeah, it's not timing. I'm just having some pizza, but it was very good talk the other day on the VHF. I'm just curious if this is working all right, so I'm passing on and carry on eating now. 2E0OGN, back to you. 2E0OGN in the group. M0AG. Yes, good evening to you there, Owen. One's Z-Star and one's ZMR on the same IP address, so I hope it doesn't cause you any bandwidth issues. So I don't know which one you came in on so far. So you're very welcome and look forward to catching you when we get down the list. Right, down to the Taunton area now. M7CRM in the group. Good evening, Chris. M0AEG. Nothing heard from Chris, but his dongle's been connected for a while. And also to Alan. G6 Lima Uniform in the group. M0AUG. Are you joining us this evening, Alan? Nothing heard from Alan. I don't see anybody connected through the Huddersfield repeater, GB7HX. And thank you for the facility, Malcolm. If anybody's monitoring and they want to come in via a GB7HX, please come in now. M0AG. Nothing heard from that, so we'll go to the borders now and call in Keith. GM4JKZ in the group, M0AUG. M0AUG in the group, GM4JKZ, yes. Good evening, Jeff, and everyone listening, and those on YouTube, if that's on as well. Yeah, the talk last night by Anthony I thought was excellent, as usual. Lots of information there, lots to go and re-look at on his website. The main thing today, of course, is the upcoming weather for us up here. 4 degrees at the moment, but it's the wind that we're looking forward to, or not looking forward to, tomorrow. For our neck of the woods, we've got a red warning, which is up to 90-mile-an-hour winds. And I was just chatting to Craig on our local repeater, GB3LB, earlier on this evening, and it seems we're both doing the same thing. Hunkering down, charging all the batteries up, charging all the handhelds up, and making sure that we've got some form of communication. The problem we have here, as was last night during the talk, we had a short power cut at the UPS I've got on the system on the router and distribution in the house. Obviously maintained that so I could carry on listening to Anthony, but of course I lost the screens for about 2 minutes, but all was well. So with that, I'll put it back to you more later on. M0AUG in the group from GM4JKZ. GM4JKZ in the group, M0AUG returning, and also good evening to any people listening on our YouTube channel. This meeting is going out on live there, and we hope you enjoy it. If you put any questions into the chat, then they'll be relayed through to me and we can discuss them on that as well. Yeah, final the talk last evening, Keepers. I think everyone agree. What an absolutely superb presentation. And it's one of those things. Anthony is always exceptionally good value for what he does, whether he comes onto the club nights or does conventions or whatever. Always a pleasure to listen to. Okay, here's another one who's also always a pleasure to listen to. M1 MRB, Martin, good evening. Glad you could join us again. Yeah, and one MRB returning, and good evening to all of you. Sorry I've not been around much recently. I did join the talk last week. This week was in the middle of a record week for me, so on Wednesday, so I missed. But I will catch up on the YouTube channel. But yeah, not a lot to say. I'll try and listen what I talk there, Jeff, from M1MRB. MRB and the group M0H saying, yeah. For those who don't know Martin's call sign, Martin is part of the QC podcast series that we featured recently, and Martin's been on that a few times. Always welcome there, Martin. Over to you there, over to Staley Bridge, M0PBF in the group, M0AUG. Good evening, Peter. M0AUG, M0PBF. Good evening to everybody. Well, I'm watching this storm. Is it Owen? I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it. I would pronounce it Owen. But as a family matter, it's Claire's annual calligraphy meeting at Higham Hall, just near Cockermouth, starting at 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. So we're a bit concerned about the drive up there. It may be Saturday morning she's going rather than Friday afternoon. It goes on till next Tuesday anyway, so she's got plenty of time to calligraphy. So back to you, Jeff. M0AUG, M0PBF. M0PBF in the group, M0AUG. Yeah, I hope obviously Claire will take the right decision as to whether she goes through that as well, and no doubt with you to guide her as well there, Peter. I noticed earlier on that John, the CEO, was actually on, but he seems to have disconnected now. So I'll ping him a text and see what he wants to do. Over to Northern Germany for now with our friends Mike and Adriana. DL1BJW with DL8ADT. Good evening to you both. I hope you enjoyed the presentation last evening. Over to you, Mike. Delta Lima 1 Bravo Juliet Whiskey. Very good evening to all and everyone. Yeah, we really enjoyed the talk yesterday evening. It was fabulous. It's something we now expect from Anthony, but of course it's really awesome what he masses of information and all the links he provides, and there's really a mountain of information in his talks. That was very good and very not only very informative but also very interesting. And the talk afterwards between the members was also very nice and very good. Radio-wise, I mentioned this already yesterday in the Zoom talk. I've been on the air on 10 meters with 80 watts and the Antfed half wave, and I reached a station from southern Argentina, LU7YS, and had a nice talk with them in SSB. And that was my highlight of the week, so to speak. But otherwise, I'm still trying my hand in the WWA contest, which runs until 31st of January, so about 1 week left. And I've now about 700 points, and my aim or my goal is to reach 1,000 points. But today, doing some exercises on this field, I encountered some difficulties as there are more and more stations trying to work these WWA contest stations, and so it's more and more difficult to get through, especially if you're not using high power. But I will try, and I'm looking forward to the end of January. Let's see what I can achieve, HI. So microphone back, microphone passing to Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango.
Yeah, very good evening. This is Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango for the group. Yes, weather here in northern Germany is a little bit milder than during the last few days. It's about 3 to 8 degrees with high humidity, but no fog anymore. And this is quite good because during, I think, the last about 2 weeks, we had continuous fog and mist outside, and this was not so good, but there will be higher temperatures during the next days, up to 10 degrees at the weekend, which is quite strange, but will be quite wet. But all these things are not so bad as the storm which will arrive at your side, and we hope very much that this will not cause so much damage, and all will become well in the end. Yes, the talk yesterday was quite amazing, and I think it will be worth going through the PDF file and looking at one or another link. And I think it's quite good to know that it's possible to look through this if a question attends, and this is very, very good. So I hand the microphone back to M0 AUG for the group.
BDT with DL1 BJW in the group, M0 AUG returning. Yes, fine, that might count, Trevor. And as we've said already, the amount of content that Anthony has on his website, if you've not looked at it already, is absolutely fantastic. And I think he mentioned on this presentation last night that he was running through about 185 slides or something like that. And also he finds time to be able to play with trains and also operate as well. And how do you follow that? Over to you there, Dave, down in Taunton, and I hope all is well with you. Andrew sent me an email earlier on. He's got a rotary meeting this evening, so won't be joining us. But over to you, G6 Edison in the group, M0AUG.
M0AUG in the group, G6 Edison. Thanks, Jeff. And I didn't know about Andrew. I'll give him emails later on or tomorrow. Hope everything's all right with him. Yeah, everything's fine with me. Thank you very much. New year, new start to everything, and I'm feeling fine. Getting back to normal, but long period after last year. Even ordering more radio stuff, which is not the right thing to do at this time of year, I don't think. But I ordered one of the JPC 12s, which went back very quickly because it will not SWR. And I've now got one of the super antennas, which arrived today, so I'm going to try assembling that tomorrow and playing with it. Other than that, yeah, no problems here at all. And sorry about last week, but I had one of my meetings on the Wednesday, and by Thursday I was a wee bit tired. M0AUG in the group, G6 ZSN.
G6 ZSN in the group, M0AUG returning. Yeah, fine on that, David. I know you've kept in touch via email as well, and things are starting to get back to normal now, and for you personally as well. And one or two little bits of dropouts in that one, nothing to worry about there, well, out to the dead. It was just as if really there was a slight overdriving of the hotspot. I don't know that will be able to be sorted for you. Right, over to our chair, Nick. G4IWO in the group, M0NUG. What a good evening last night, Nick.
M0AUG in the group from G4IWO. Good evening to everyone. Delighted to see everyone. And also, it's very pleasing to get people's positive comments on Anthony's second part of his talk on VHF, UHF operations. What is most astonishing are the slides and the links, the internet links to all kinds of information that will be very useful to anyone. I guarantee to you there is not an operator around who would not be able to find something they didn't know about that was featured in Anthony's talk. So I'm really pleased, and it was good to have him back. And funnily enough, I thought of Anthony when listening to the ICQ podcast, the last one, because there was a brief report on that and discussion about a year-long special event celebrating Britain's railways that featured on the website as news from Colin, and as a year-long event about the railways and the British Railways Amateur Radio Society. And I know that's something that Anthony will be very interested in. So I've sent him a copy of the link for him to follow that one through, as I'm sure he'd find that interesting. I hope everyone is going to be okay with the winds and the weather. I don't think the forecast, we're here in an amber area here in the northwest. It's going to be Northern Ireland and southern Scotland that look as if they're going to take the brunt of this storm. So hopefully, as Keith has said, he's got his radios charged, and I'm quite sure antennas down where necessary, and that hopefully he'll be okay. Back to you, Jeff. M0AUG in the group, G4IWO.
M0AUG returning. Yes, fine on that, Nick, and the bits I missed last night and the rest of the time I was able to pick up on YouTube. But certain things have a habit of getting in the way of doing what I want to do these days, but another story. Over to you there, Jeff. Oscar November 8 November Tango in the group. M0AUG. Good evening, Jeff.
Good evening, Jeff. I think we forgot Bob, November 4 X-Ray Alpha Tango. Back to you, Jeff.
I think you're absolutely right there. Apologies, Jeff. I'll go up to Bob now. November 4 X-Ray Alpha Tango in the group. M0AUG. Over to you. I'm sorry we missed you there, but especially after your announcements of your bonus scores. So please accept my apologies. Over to you.
M0AUG with the group, November 4 X-Ray Alpha Tango. First of all, good evening, good afternoon to everyone who are listening to the net. We hit our high temperature about a half an hour ago. It was -3 Celsius. That was our high for today. We still don't expect to see above freezing before Sunday. So I'm looking forward to Sunday. Radio-wise, it hasn't been a good week for me. It's been so cold here, it's very difficult to find many new parks on the air. As a matter of fact, I have not made I try to do it 20 parks a day, even though they're all not new parks. I try to do 20 parks a day when possible. In the last week, I've done maybe half of that a day. I don't believe that I've hit 20 any day this week, so I have a way to go. But there just aren't as many parks active because of the cold weather here. So I guess that's a good excuse. As far as the talk last night goes, Anthony always puts on a good talk. I'm not surprised that he has a good talk. I'm just surprised that he has enough time to have so many articles on the internet also. I mean, he must spend 24 hours a day trying to keep up with all the things that he does, and that's remarkable. And you remarked about railways on the air, and you know, a lot of people are very interested in that subject. Most of the clubs in the UK that I belong to, at least there are a couple of members in almost every club that are interested in railways on the air. And I'm sure that Anthony, maybe you sent him that, Nick, I'm sure that he'll enjoy that. Back to you, Jeff, and I don't mind you passing me because I talk too much anyway. M0AUG was group, November 4, X-Ray Alpha Tango.
November 4, X-Ray Alpha Tango in the group. M0AUG returning fine on that, Bob, and apologies once again for missing over. When you're watching the screen and trying to follow the email as well, occasionally your eyes go over the group, and I'm sorry it was your turn to be left out, unfortunately. And yes, we are locally where I am on the Fylde coast here in Preston Docklands. There we have the Ribble Valley Railway, which is the museum as well, and also they now do some work with the Furness Valley Railway as well. So we've got two things quite close to us. Over to you there, Jeff, and thanks very much for pointing out my omission. No problem at all. Oscar November 8, November Tango in the group. M0AUG.
M0AUG, the group of 8 November Tango. Very good evening, a very good afternoon to you, Bob. And welcome to Owen. Nice to have you here on the net for the first time. And also to everyone on the YouTube channel. Well, we have plus 6 degrees. We have seen the sun today, even a little bit, but this evening we got some rain and some wind. So I think we will get some from the storm that some people in Northern Ireland and Scotland will have. And I hope everything will pass okay there. We all with all these people there, but there will be not that much or no damage at least. But there will be no damage at least. So that would be nice. And yesterday the VHF talk from Anthony was brilliant. I really like that. And I have gone through the PDF, and I think, sorry that I have, like Bob said, that I only have 24 hours a day because that's. So I will be busy some other time to go through the whole document. Okie doke, and congratulations on your POTA adventures there, Bob. I discovered that I worked Antarctica as a POTA, the Delta Papa Zero Golf Victor November. When I checked my POTA statistics, appear there as being Antarctica and being a POTA. So that's a continent, an extra continent, and I think Mike also worked that station. So those who have worked him have an extra POTA and an extra continent. So that's good news. Radio-wise, I think that the highlight for me has been the last weekend with the Tropo on 2 and 70 centimeters. Worked very nice stations, really enjoyed that during maybe 3 days. Really good. Well, weak Tropo, not excellent Tropo, but weak Tropo. But anyway, able to work into Norway and into Ireland and so on, and I'm quite happy about that. Mostly in FDA. And I also worked on 6 meters, no, not on 6 meters, on 30 meters. I worked a VK6 and a VK2 at 20 UTC. That's maybe interesting for some of you to try. At 20 hours UTC, VK6 and VK2, the VKs are coming through on 30 meters. So that's also good news, I think. Some more news in the next over, so I put it back to you, Jeff. Mike 0 AUG, the group of 8 November Tango.
Oscar November 8 November Tango in the group M0 AUG returning. Thanks for all that, Jeff. And I think everybody's agreed that Anthony's presentations are absolutely superb, and the sooner we can get him back doing another one on another subject, so much the better. He's always willing to come to the clubs, isn't he? I've seen him for many years at conventions and the Right, back to the top of the list. Before we start the list, is there anybody listening on GB7HX who wants to come in to the net this evening? Nothing heard. So top of the list, of course, now is Owen. 2E0 OGN in the group. M0AEG. Over to you.
M0AEG in the group. 2E0 OGN. I've not really been up to much radio-wise. The weather's been a bit rubbish. Managed to get a couple of parks last weekend. So I got the Hunters last weekend. Yeah, I was hoping to get out to a park, but I had archery competition on the Sunday, so I didn't very well. Hopefully when the weather's passed, I'll be able to get out and activate some of the new parks. I noticed they've got a whole load of new parks on around here again recently, so that'll be fun. Anyway, back to you. M0AUG,
2E0 OGN in the group. M0AUG today. Yes, fine on that, Owen, and pleased that you're joining the group as well, and hope you'll try and join us on a regular basis on Thursday evening there. Back up to the borders now, GM4JK in the group, M0AUG, and everybody's sort of hoping that the precautions you've taken keep going to be sufficient. Over to you. M0AUG and the group, GM4JK, yeah, fine on that one. And as Nick alluded to, the antenna, the Jets Commander's down on the ground at the moment on its stands. And I took advantage. I just worked the PC Digi contest last weekend. Only worked 39 RISI stations, but noticed that 20 meters with all the new wiring and the new measurements was just tuning a bit too high for me. So put it down today and took the advantage of adding just 4 centimeters onto the 20-meter element, and that should cure me and bring the tuning down to about 14100. That was about 1.1 to 1. So, Callum on his website has got a thing called Quick SWR, a little Excel spreadsheet which you can put in the frequency that you're getting a dip at and the frequency you want, and it will tell you, particularly on his antenna, what you need to cut or add, which I think is brilliant. So that's that contest. Also, out of interest, I built a flower pot antenna a few months ago for 270, and I did find, whilst we were sorting things out for our little Folkestone Valley resilience group, that it tunes quite nicely on 446 as well. So that one's going to be donated to the community, and I'm in the process of building another one. Annoyingly, though, like everything living up here, I have to wait for deliveries on the co-op. I don't think I'm going to get it till Monday, so way past this weekend's requirements. The thing I did come across, there were many things, but Anthony's talk last night, I've actually joined the DX Maps website now, which if anybody has looked at it, you'll realise how good it is, and if you haven't, it's well worth signing up to, because you can select band and geographical location in the world and see what activity is going on. I thought that was absolutely brilliant, so I'm really pleased with that. And the last thing at the moment is I nearly had a heart attack this afternoon, or early this evening, when my phone received a Scottish Government emergency alert alarm. What I didn't realise was it sends it as a text, plans it, and automatically turns your mobile phone audio to full volume. And it was about 2 feet away from me when I was trying to tune the radio. So, boy, did that make me jump. Anyway, back to you, Jeff. M0AUG with group GM4JKZ. GM4JKZ in the group M0AUG returning. Yeah, fine. At least you know the alert's working, Keith. Even though it probably did frighten everything out of you. But there you go. I've heard about these nets and things, and obviously it's a good thing that you were able to receive them. And final precautions, and we just hope everything settles down for you over the weekend there, Keith. Over to you then, Martin. M1 MRB in the group M0AUG.
Yeah, M0AUG, AUG rather, one MRB returning in the net. Yeah, it's interesting because I think most of you guys are much, much further north than me. I live in South London or just south of London, so a little bit different when I hear things going on. What I will say is this Sunday, and it's already been mentioned, I apologise, but this Sunday, between midday and 3 o'clock in the afternoon local time, there's 145 Alive on, which is trying to generate as much activity on 145 megs FM. So it's just a bit of a ratio net on there. That's one thing. And the other one is, if any of you guys go on holiday down near the south coast, down near Littlehampton, Worthing, Bognor, that sort of way, Hambley Chalkbits Museum has just reopened for this year's season. And if you ever get there, the place is so big, there's actually a narrow gauge railway that will take you from one side of the site to the other. Or if you don't like trains, they run vintage buses. And trust me, although the radio room is very, very good, everything else is phenomenal, and you won't see it all in a day, so don't try. But as I say, just heard that it's reopened, and if that's of any use to anybody, maybe worth a trip. I'll pass it back to you, Jeff. M08UG M1MRB.
M1 MRB in the group M0AUG returning. Yes, fine, that. And yeah, well done on the information that you passed over there, Martin. As you quite rightly say, I think most of the group now, certainly those of us who are in the UK, are further north of you. Obviously, Keith is up in the borders, I'm up on the Fylde coast. Nicky's in the Pennine Hills. Who else have we got? Owen's up in West Yorkshire there. So yes, you're absolutely right on that one. Thanks for the information on the other contacts though as well there. Over to you there, Peter. M0BBF in the group. M0AUG.
M0AUG, M0PBF. Well, I've been continuing my researches on low power propagation, and all I get is more questions than I get answered. This week's questions were raised by how did I get to 1.2 watts, 200 milliwatts, to Reunion in the middle of the Indian Ocean, and also to Papua New Guinea. And the interesting thing was I got to Reunion at a signal to noise ratio of -27. And at the end of what I was doing, about 3 hours later, I got to Stoke-on-Trent at a signal to noise ratio of -27. And I don't know. I keep trying to figure out this 200 milliwatts will travel the distance it will. I don't know if Nick can confirm it, but did I understand that we've got Steve Nichols coming on as a speaker sometime in the reasonably near future? In which case I'll start putting together a list of questions for him. But it is absolutely fascinating on operating on both 0.2 watts on WS PR and at 5 watts on FD4 and FT8. It's really, really difficult to figure out. There we go. So back to you, Jeff. M0AUG, M0PBF.
0 BBF in the group, M0AG returning. You're absolutely right there, B2. It's surprising where your signals do get to. And I think people who are spending more time doing QRP and things like that are realising the benefits of giving it a go. I know our friend John, G3SEO, who's having technical difficulty getting on this evening. I know John has spent quite a lot of time these days with his FT8, FT4 and everything, and some remarkable results with limited antenna conditions there. Worthwhile noting there, Peter, if you go to the Pennine Ham website, and then it keeps the calendar up to date there as to what's coming on in the future. So you'll be able to see on the Google Calendar that's on the website what's coming up next. Thanks for your input so far. Over to Northern Germany now at DL1 PJW with DL8 BDT. Back over to you there, Mike.
There's Lima 1 Bravo Juliet Whiskey. Yeah, very interesting what Peter said about his experiments there with very low power. And we did some experimenting also here with 5 watts in the contest last weekend. Was a very rudimentary antenna, so to speak. We had a wire of 10 meters length on a balcony on the first floor, but of radial wire inside the room, inside the flat, because outside there was no room for it. And with this 5 watts and this crazy antenna there, using a binding post, by the way, no balun, no anon. We had several contacts to the US and all over Europe. That was very interesting. Of course, the very heart of the thing is that you need a very good antenna tuner unit, and we had one in the KX2 by Elecraft, which literally will tune anything. I've even tuned rain pipes on the house with it and other things. It's absolutely fabulous. Well, otherwise I've done some experimenting with my new rig expert analyzer and measured the antennas we have outside in the attic, and I found that the Riberkopf antenna, vertical outside in the garden, mounted on the soil, was not only resonant on 20 meters, or nearly resonant, you have to say, but also on 2 meters and 6 meters. I didn't know that this extended so far up at the spectrum, but you can do 2-meter contacts and 6-meter contacts. But you have to say, in Germany, it's forbidden to use 6 meters with vertical polarization. You can only use horizontal polarization. So this will not do. But theoretically and even practically, if you dare, it's possible. So interesting results. Passing the microphone to Delta Lee, Bravo Delta Tango.
Yeah, this is Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango for the group of all. Greetings to Owen. Good to hear you this evening on Digital Net. And good evening to all the listeners on YouTube, also from my side. Yes, radio-wise, I can report something about my new QMX. And as I told last week, I tried to go through all the settings, and yes, I made some tests, I think, on during the weekend, and the first time I had not a good experience in sending and listening. Everything was fine, but when I wanted to send Morse code and so I had transmit, I had some issues. I didn't hear the side tone, and I had problems to send Morse code. And yes, then I have been searching on the internet. It was not quite easy to find something, but then next day I found a very good YouTube video from a guy called Joe and to Delta India, and he went through all the settings, and there I could hear that there has been a sub menu where you have to set some points in the audio settings, and there are two CW filters, and you have to set the filters in a special way, and the center frequency of the CW signal. And I had some doubts if this would fix the fault, but in the end I could send. This was very, very good, and I was very happy. And the next day I managed to make some contacts in CW all over Europe. So my journey has just begun, very hopefully, and I'll make some further tests during the next weeks. So this is what I can report from here. I hand the microphone back to N0AG for the
DL8BGT in the group, M0AG returning, of course, with DL1BJW. Thank you very much, Adriana, for your news on that one. We wondered how you're going to get on with it, and it sounds as if it's successful. And we look forward to hearing more from you as to your contacts that you're going to get on LCW when you're using it as well. You sound to be very pleased with the radio now. Okay, before I just pass it through to Dave, I've just had a message from Fraser, and I'll be as it is, and we'll take it from there. Hi Jeff, can you QSP to the others on the net? I can't make it this evening. It's my 75th birthday, so we've been taking out to our weekly food club to have a slap of meal, which is cooked by professional chefs who are living in our area. 50-odd people with kids as well, always. Just a nice early start, 1800 hours. This evening we are going to have a little after time for Fraser. All at the cost of £5 per head. Hopefully to be around next week. Info worked a few of the WWA stations on various bands. My dearest commander's working well. Thanks. I obviously replied to that and wished him best on behalf of all of us. And there we are. Good move to take down to come into the group as well. Over to you there, Dave. G677 in the group. M0AEG.
G677 in the group. M0AEG. And not much to say here, but what I have noticed is my 700s even, have all been very, very muffled on the speaker. Not sure why, but I've just plugged headphones in. I think it was during Adriana's over, and everything is very good and clear, even with my poor hearing. I just wondered if anyone has any ideas what to set. I've just gone into the icon settings. The only thing I can see is on tone control, where I can set RX bass and RX treble. The same with TX. But whether I need to go minus or plus, I'm not sure. But the muffling is so bad that it's very hard to distinguish what's being said. M0 AUG in the group, G6 NSN. Hopefully someone can come up with a bright idea.
G6 NSN in the group, M0 AUG returning. Yes, fine on that, Dave. And I don't know if there's anybody on the group with the 7100 experience. I know we used to have one on the Oldham Club many years ago and still have, in fact, good radio, but I'm not able to help you on that. Maybe somebody else can. Over to you there, Bob. I'm not missing you out this time. November 4 X-ray Alpha Tango in the group, M0 AUG.
Zero AUG in the group, 4 X-ray Alpha Tango. First of all, Martin, I'm sorry that I can't be over there. I love chalk pits. It's one of the nicest Everleigh chalk pits. One of the nicest areas, museums I've ever been to, and they have such a wide collection. They have something that could interest anyone, and not just radio enthusiasts. Of course, I love the radio section, I have to admit, and the typography section also I enjoy. But quite a museum, and too bad I can't be over there to join you fellows. Generally on this round, I give you my updates on Coda. Well, as I said earlier, I haven't done quite as well this week. So far, I've only worked 1,853 different parks. As you saw this morning, I did get an award this week for working 120 times. I'll probably get another award for another park well over 100 sometime this week. But as for new parks, it's getting more and more difficult to find them. But still, I'm enjoying it, and it keeps me out of the tap rooms and off of the streets. So far, I still have 18 different countries. 17 of them, of course, are DX countries, and I'm happy with that, and mostly QRP, so I'm happy with that also. Great Britain, I have 9 parks now, and of course, if you want to count the one in Northern Ireland, I guess that could make it 10 parks in that area. In Germany, I have 7 parks, and I think I got a new one this morning, but there was all reports that I can't call it a new park. So I'm doing well in both countries. Jeff, however, I haven't got any in Belgium. I do have a couple in France, but I don't have any in Belgium yet. So maybe one of these days I'll get a park in Belgium. I'm starting to lose my voice, so I better get back to it before I do lose it completely. M0 AUG with the group, November 4 X-ray Alpha Tango.
In November 4 X-ray Alpha Tango in the group, M0 AUG returning. Yeah, fine on that, Bob, and yeah, certainly you've shown everybody else how to do it on the box on the air there. We've got a member in the Oldham Radio Club, and I'm not just sure what his call sign is. Alan, he's called. Just let me look on the internet. I'll just try and find Alan's call sign for you. He is very, very keen in the Oldham Amateur Radio Club, and I'll just call this up. There we are. Alan is 2 Echo 0 Juliet Whiskey Alpha. 2 Echo 0 Juliet Whiskey Alpha. He's one of the committee members of the Oldham Radio Club there. And I hope at some stage you might be able to seek him out and earn some contacts with him. He's literally all over the place with Soton and parks on the air and this sort of thing. So thanks for your input so far, Bob, and we'll catch you in a few minutes. G4IWO in the group, M0 AUG.
M0 AUG in the group from G4IWO. Yeah, thank you, Jeff. And first of all, to Owen and everyone else who's interested in parks on the air, I think wherever you live, certainly not just in the UK, but especially in England, where there's been a mega amount of activity to include more parks, people will be very surprised to see their local park is more than likely now featuring as a park on the air. I spotted, Owen, just a few days ago that in the village I live in, Littleborough, on the edge of Greater Manchester here on the border with West Yorkshire, we have a small park in the town called Hare Hill Country Park, and that's now been added as a POTA park, GB4029. I'm definitely going to go and activate it. The only problem is it's right down the bottom of the hill, so it's actually not in the best location. Certainly not for VHF, but I'll give it a try on HF, and I definitely want to be the first person to activate that park. But I really do suggest people just go and have a look. I mean, that's, literally just a walk down the road from where I live. Although, of course, if I walk the other way up into the hills, I've got the Pennine Way and the Pennine Bridle Way. The only difficulty with the two major routes across the hills is that this time of the year it is so muddy, it's extremely unpleasant to walk on for any distance. The paths are absolutely treacherous, and it's not the easiest place to go and operate radio from. But certainly the park down the bottom of the road may well be an option. So I'm going to go and investigate that. So thanks for reminding me to raise that, Owen. And yes, to Peter, Steve Nichols, the chair of the RSGB Propagation Studies Committee, is coming to talk on Wednesday, the 12th of March. He's going to give us his perspective and the views of the Propagation Committee on where we're at with Solar Cycle 25, but I'm absolutely certain that he'll take any questions people want to throw at him on propagation. He's a very, very good speaker. And I've just posted into the WhatsApp group a link to a couple of articles in Radcom that Ken referenced the other day. One is an article by Bob, GM4DLG, who came and spoke to the club earlier, a few weeks ago, before Christmas, when we gave the two-part talk on his trip down to VKZL, which was very, very entertaining. And he's got a feature article in Radcom, in the February edition of Radcom. And there's also an excellent article on aircraft scatter as well that Anthony mentioned in his talk last night. Back to you, Jeff. M0AUG in the group, G4IWO.
G4IWO in the group, M0AUG. Yes, fine on that, Nick, and thanks for the update to Peter on Steve Nichols' presentation. Over to you now, Jeff. Oscar November Tango in the group, M0AUG.
M0AUG, the group. November Tango, yeah, okay. Well, Bob, I certainly have the intention to activate some parks. I think in a circle of 10 kilometers around my house, I have at least 3 parks which have never been activated. So these will be all-time new ones for the people who will work me. So I have everything ready to do that. Unfortunately, the weather is not that good, so we are waiting for the beautiful spring days, and then we certainly will do that. By the way, activating is quite popular here in Belgium, but not VOTA. And not VOTA because we don't have that much of mountains or hills. But I think castles in the air and bunkers in the air, and the fauna and flora is very, very active. So there is a crowd who nearly every day is activating those castles and fauna and flora places and so on. So this is something I certainly will do, Bob, and I will inform you. I will send you a mail or a WhatsApp, and we will try to do that. Okay, though. And okay, about the digging contest last week, Keith, I didn't do that because I was concentrated on VHF, UHF, Tropo. So I concentrated on that. So I haven't done that. And Peter, absolutely fascinating. That's maybe what fascinates me most, and that in shortwave is what you can do with such small amounts of power. That's really, really fascinating. And I'm looking forward to the next talk of Steve Nichols to learn more about that. And okay, Adriana, with your adventures there, with your new takes. That's interesting. So yeah, there are some tricks that you need to know in order to get it right. And I must say, happy birthday, Fraser. If you listening afterwards, I hope you will have a nice day today and enjoy the day and enjoy the next year to come, especially with your Peaks Commander. I've heard that you already have some good success. And Dave, on your loudspeaker, I have a loudspeaker from Jesu, which I'm using. And if there are knobs on that, maybe it's just turning the knobs. Maybe that needs some cleaning or so. Both the knobs that turns and the other knobs. So I have different knobs, 4 knobs on my speaker. And that is sometimes something which is muffling the audio. So if you have any knobs on your speaker, just try to fiddle a little bit with that. Okay, well, what I have done today, and since yesterday, I have been playing with APRS on the International Space Station, and that's really, really good fun. I worked some stations all over Europe, and Italy, and Echo Alpha 6, and the Balearic Islands, and G, and England, and Sugar 51. And it's like a little bit SMS-like messages that you send to each other. It's not like FTA, where everything is standardized. You can give your own personal touch to that. And on one pass, I copied 15 stations. I didn't work all of them, but anyway, interesting to see that kind of activity. And actually, as the wind is coming, as the storm is coming here, I already have my diamond down, and I'm just using a vertical dipole. That's not all that I have for 2 meters, so I was just using that vertical dipole. And I think with every FM transceiver and some software, you can do that. So it's really good fun. And by the way, some transceivers, some FM transceivers, especially from ESU and some HDs already have the capability of doing APRS, so you just have to change some settings and you're done. Jeff, Mike 0 AUG, the group ONA November Tango.
ONA November Tango in the group, M0 AUG. Yeah, thanks for all that, Jeff. As usual, a bundle of useful information for our people on there, and Mike and Adriana and Dave and the others there. And yeah, we all wish Fraser a happy 75th birthday. Whether he'll pick this up or will he pick it up on the YouTube, that's absolutely fine. So, been a good night this evening, hasn't it? And also, Bob, I've sent a message to Alan from the Oldham Amateur Radio Club, who's a very, very keen Salter and Porter member of the club and on the committee there. He might make contact with you. I don't know how you can achieve contacts between you from that distance, but he can certainly give you some guidance as to what might be available if you have enough power to get across to the UK in the various boats there, Bob. Hope that's useful to you. Right. At 8:30 is probably time for us to start with the finals there. So we'll go to Owen for starters. Please, you can join us this evening, Owen, and hope you'll be a regular guest on the programme. 2E0 OGN in the group, M0 AUG.
M0 AUG in the group, 2E0 OGN. Thank you for welcoming me. It's only the second time I've managed to make it on for all technical difficulties I kept having. I should hopefully, now I've got the hotspot set up again, I should be able to make it more regular. Just catching up. Catching up with wildfires in America again at the moment. They had to evacuate one of our sites last night because of a huge fire. Very contained, unfortunately. So that's fun. Looks like the wind's changed as well, heading towards spring. Anyway, I'll wish everybody all the best. 73s. Back to you. M0 AUG in the group, 2E0 LGN.
2E0 LGN in the group, M0 AUG returning. Okay, they're right, and as I said earlier, glad you can make it this evening. I hope we can manage regularly, and I hope your colleagues over in the US on the sites there stay safe under the circumstances. And so thanks for joining us. Right. Things down there at the moment, Keith. I'm assuming that probably you're going to send us a picture at the end if you're able to. GM4JKZ in the group, M0 AUG. M0 AUG in the group, GM4JKZ. That was funny, I was just about to say how good the 305 is holding up tonight, and I lost about half of your transmission. But, so I've got a picture for the end. It's a photo of where I lived when I was down in Somerset. It's the access road down to the barn that we had. So hopefully it comes through okay. Yeah, I did wonder where Fraser was tonight. But yeah, happy birthday for him if he listens afterwards. And Martin, Amberley Chalkpits Museum. Yes, I know it well. I used to live down in Worthing a few years ago now. And they may have it still, but I did donate a ground Aldis system, which I got hold of. No good to me, of course, but I thought the museum would like it, and they accepted it graciously. So pleased about that. And the last thing, Bob, 1853, congratulations. You'll be not too distant future, methinks. Okay, so back to you there, Jeff, and yeah, there will be a picture at the end, M0 AUG with a group, and good evening to everyone from GM4JKZ. GM4JKZ in the group, M0 AUG returning. Yes, fine and that, Keith, and what we'll do at the end, if it's okay with you, we'll let Bob send the first picture, followed by yourself, and then Jeff, if that's okay for everybody on the batting order there, for the pictures at the end. For those who are new to this, on ICOM, some of the radios are capable of sending and receiving pictures, and these three guys are going to do it for us this evening as usual. So, over to you, Martin. Hope you enjoyed the evening, or certainly enjoyed your company here. M1 MRB in the group, M0 AUG. Yeah, M0 AUG, M1 MRB returning to the group, and great to be involved tonight. Everybody's mentioned Chris Nichols. I've met him quite a few times. He's a really nice guy, really helpful, and every time I've seen him do a presentation, it's been absolutely super. So I'm sure everybody that turns up on the night is going to thoroughly enjoy it. My only hope is that it's not on an ICQ record night, which is sort of every other Wednesday. So if I miss it, I'll have to catch it on YouTube, but that's a good one. Now, one piece of information that it's not amateur radio, but it might help your committee members, because I don't know how you share information. But in the last couple of days, Google Documents have started playing up. If you share a document, so supposing I create a document and I share it with you, you used to be able to share it and send just a note saying that here's the document. Google Docs, in its infinite wisdom since the last update, is sharing the document, but it isn't informing you that the document has been shared with you. So unless you know it's been shared, you can't see it or find it. So just a word of warning, if you use Google Docs between you guys on the committee or anybody else uses them, be aware at the moment there's a problem until they solve it, that if you share documents, they're not alerting you when you receive a shared document. So just a little one. Hopefully that might help some of you. And I know it's not radio, but it certainly can screw you up. So without idea, I'll say thank you very much, guys, for letting me join the net tonight. I'm going to shut up and just listen and watch the pictures at the end. 73 all from M1MRB. Back to you there, Jeff.
M1MRB and the group M0 AG returning. Yeah, thanks very much indeed for the tips on the Google changes there. I'm sure they'll sort it out in good time there. And thanks again for joining us this evening, Martin. Look forward to the next time. Over to you for your finals, Peter. I'm here at PBF in the group M0AEG.
M0AUG, M0PBF. Sorry about the short break there. The radio times out. So I lost it. But anyway, Jeff, thank you very much for running the net. A very enjoyable net this evening, as always. So 73 is to all, and I'll pass it back to you before this radio switches itself off yet again. M0AUG, M0PBF.
M0PBF in the group M0AG returning. Yeah, please you could join us this evening, Peter. And hope the decision is the correct one that you take about Claire's conference there. I look forward to catching up with you on Sunday morning. John came on and signed up. He was having problems with his Bi-Star. So thanks for joining us, Peter, and I look forward to catching up with you on the Oldham Net on Sunday morning there. M0PBF in the group, M0AUG. So over to Northern Germany now for your finals, please. DL1 VJW with DL8 BET, M0AUG. Over to you there, Mike. And good to hear about your results for the radio, Adriana.
Delta Lima 1 Bravo Juliet Whiskey with the final. First of all, Bob and for XAT, congrats to your inverted commas only 1,853 parks. That's amazing. And Fraser, if you listen to that later on, I try my hand in Tilke Must Futzelstagen, or hopefully happy birthday. I hope this was correct. So all the best to you there. And thank you very much, Jeff, for hosting the net and doing an excellent job. And thank you to all of you for your pleasant company for this nice evening to share. And hopefully the weather will not be too bad. Keeping my fingers crossed for the safety of all of us. And wishing you all a very pleasant rest of the week, very good weekend, and hopefully see you again soon on next week on, no, not Zoom this time, but on Thursday on the digital net. So bye-bye 73 from Northern Germany, passing the microphone to Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango.
Yeah, this is Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango for the group. Yes, Fraser also from my side.
DL8 BET, M0AG. You just dropped out there, Adriana. Maybe there's something wrong with the connection there. We'll come back to Adriana in a few minutes. G6ZSN in the group, your final set, M0AG.
M0AUG in the group, G6ZSN. Yeah, thanks once again for running the net, Jeff, and very enjoyable. Belgium, Jeff. Unfortunately, I'm using the radio's internal speaker. I don't have an external one at all. I'll try and find one in the garage and hook them up. But it's obvious it could be something in my data plug because all the radios are exactly the same. So they're all fired off the same data plug as well. I'll keep playing and see if I can reset it. Thanks again, Jeff, for running that, and I wish everyone a happy weekend, and hopefully catch you next Thursday, Golf 6 Sierra November, Mike Zero Alpha Oscar November. AUG, sorry.
G6 in the group M0AG. Yes, thanks for that, Dave. And still a bit of bobbing on that. I don't know whether you're actually overdriving the hotspot or not, but not any problems with anybody else with that report during this evening. And perfectly readable, not a problem. Back over to Old Germany now and just see if Adriana's back on the line. DL8BGT in the group, M0AEG. Nothing out from Adriana. We will try again before the end of the evening anyway. Over to you there, Bob, for your finals, but when we do the pictures at the end, we'll let Keith go first, and then yours, and then Jeff. November 4, Alpha Tango, and I hope you managed to get in touch with Alan in the UK and see if you can sort something out on the HF. Over to you, M0AG.
First of all, Jeff, thank you for the information on Alan. I did write it down, and I haven't looked at my email yet, but I will. Second, happy birthday to Fraser if you're listening. If Fraser isn't listening, he just gets on at 13:30 Zulu every day, Monday through Friday, on 21-350 on the Mid-Sussex net. And if you can't hear the Mid-Sussex net because it's a little too close to you, they have an SDR, so if you go to the Mid-Sussex IRS website, you can tune in their SDR and hear everyone that's on in Mid-Sussex on that net. So, and like I say, Fraser usually tries to join that net every morning, Monday through Friday. So that's that. And I do have a photo, and I will go second then. After the good results I had last week, this week probably it'll turn out bad, but that's all right. It was an experiment last week. I've set up several photographs still over the next few weeks just to see how good I can do. And I better say thank you now, Jeff, for running the net. I'm losing my voice now. So over to you, M0AUG, November 4, Victory Alpha Tango.
November 4, X-ray Alpha Tango in the group, M0AG returning. Okay, fine on that, Bob, and we got all the over there, not a problem at all. And I'll be putting Jeff on next, and then obviously as usual, Nick to close the finale there, and then we'll come back and do the three pictures. And thanks for joining us this evening as usual. Just a quick try to see if Mike and Adriana are back yet. DL8BUT in the group, M0AEG.
DL1BJW, okay. Obviously, we had some problems with our open spot 3 again. It got its tantrums again. I'm not quite sure if you did get anything of what I said in the beginning.
Yes, okay, Mike, we got the order over, and then as soon as he passed it over to Adriana, it stopped. Back to you.
Yeah, roger that. So I'll pass the microphone to Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango. One moment, please.
Yeah, this is Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango for the group. Yes, thank you for this interesting and very pleasant evening. I wish you all the best, and greetings to Fraser and happy birthday to him. And Bob, congrats to your 1,853 parts. So bye-bye from here, 73 and 88. This was Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango, handing the microphone back to M0 AUG for the group.
TL8 BDT with DL1 BJW. Thanks both for joining as usual and the contributions this evening there now. What I'm going to do now is to pass it over to Jeff in Belgium, and then when we come back, Nick will close the meeting and then we'll do the pictures. So over to you there, Jeff. Oscar November 8 November Tango, M0 AEG.
M0 AUG, the group 08 November Tango. Okie-do. Thank you very much, Jeff, for sharing the net. It was an excellent net again this evening. Thank you also, Martin. The tip about Google Docs was a good one, very interesting one, because I'm using that with some voluntary work that I'm doing here, so that's very helpful. I will inform the people in our voluntary group about this. So, yeah, good. Not amateur radio, but very useful. I would say 73 to everyone. Enjoy the coming week. I hope the weather in the UK and Ireland will be not that bad. Well, that there will be no damage or any other things going wrong there. And hope everyone has a good night. And Bob, I will sure try to get you Belgium in your Potalo each night. Okie-do. All the best, 73s, and I will send as the last one pictures. So I put it back to you, Jeff. 50 AUG, the group, 08 November Tango. And by the way, thank you, Nick, for the articles. Back to you, Jeff.
November 8 November Tango, the group from 0 AUG returning. Yes, thanks for your contributions as usual, and everything else that goes with helping to support the Pennine upload there, Jeff. So what I'll do now, I'll just pass it over to Nick, and I hope everybody who's been listening on the YouTube channel and listens in the future enjoyed the chat this evening. Over to you for your finals there, Nick. G4 IWO in the group, M0 AUG.
M0 AUG in the group from G4 IWO. Yeah, thank you very much, Jeff, and big thank you to you as always for chairing the net so well. And of course, from me, a happy birthday to Fraser when you catch up with this later in the week. Fraser, enjoy your birthday and your meal this evening. Martin, thank you for that warning about Google Docs. Yes, we do use all the Google suite of documents for the club. We obviously use it because it's free and they're simple to use. We will go and check out the change they've made on Google Docs. That does sound somewhat annoying, but I'm sure there's a way around it. So thank you for alerting us to that one. And if I've counted properly, Martin, again for you, Steve Nichols is back on the 12th of March to give us a talk at the club. And I think your record night is the week before. If I've counted it correctly on the calendar, I did it very quickly. I think you do your recording 5th of March and Steve is with us on the 12th. So you should be okay for that. So very quickly, our very next speaker is Emil DL8JJ of the famous Rockall D expedition and a million other activities. A very, very prolific active radio amateur is Emil with a fascinating life history and an amazing CW operator. He's a member of the very high CW Speed Club and really genuinely can send and receive, at ridiculous speeds, CW. So looking forward to Emil coming back to the club on the 5th of February. And at the end of the month in February, we have a talk on the 26th of February from Jonathan G1EXG, who wrote a very interesting article on an end-fed 10-meter array that I think will be of a lot of interest to members of the club interested in playing with radios. And of course, the joy of 10-meter aerials is that they're much smaller than ones for the lower bands. So with that, I'd like to wish everyone a very pleasant evening. And just in passing as well, I meant to pick up on this earlier from Keith and the emergency alert. When those emergency alert phones go off without warning, it is a real shock. And Keith, we were out in Germany 2 years ago when I can't remember, I think it was December actually, of a year before last, when the Germany did their emergency alert test on phones one morning. And of course, I had no idea. I hadn't been following the news in Germany. I had no idea the test was taking place. And my wife and I were just walking up the slopes of one of the mountains, snow-covered slopes, very deep snow. And suddenly this alarm went off, and it terrified the life out of me because both our phones went off. And I thought it was possibly an avalanche alarm linked to mobile phones. But I looked around and I just couldn't see any sight of where I was of a possible avalanche. But I then read the message and realized it was a test message in Germany. So it does go off, and it is very loud, and it does do the right thing. It does give you a serious warning. So thanks for that reminder, Keith. 73s, everyone, and see you at the next club meeting. M0AUG in the group, G4IWO.
G4IW in the group, M0AUG, returning. Thanks very much indeed, that for wrapping the evening up there, Nick. And we'll just go to the pictures now, and we'll look forward to seeing people in future weeks. Thanks to everybody for your support this evening. It's been a good net, I think. And we'll now go over to the orders again, and over to Keith for your picture, Keith. The M4JKZ in the group, M0AUG.